Your smartphone, your laptop, and the electric vehicle in your driveway all share a secret ingredient: cobalt. This silver-blue metal is the key to battery stability, preventing overheating and extending life.
But while it powers a clean future, its origins are anything but.
Today, we begin our look at the complex world of blue gold.
Understanding the cobalt crisis is understanding the future of energy.
Geography has handed the Democratic Republic of Congo a near monopoly.
According to the European Commission, a staggering 63% of the world's cobalt is extracted here.
This concentration creates a massive strategic vulnerability for the global economy.
If the DRC stops digging, the energy transition stops moving. The world is dependent on a single, fragile border. There are two phases to cobalt mining.
Industrial mines use massive machinery and sophisticated safety protocols.
But roughly 15 to 30% comes from artisanal sources.
These are independent miners digging by hand, often in hazardous conditions without oversight.
Distinguishing between clean and tainted ore is the industry's greatest challenge. Human rights groups, including Amnesty International, have raised alarms over cobalt. In the artisanal sector, child labor remains a persistent reality, driven by extreme poverty. Miners work in tunnels that frequently collapse, with no respiratory protection against toxic dust.
The metal powering our clean future is sometimes paid for in blood and health.
Addressing this is no longer optional for global brands. While the DRC mines it, China refines it. Chinese firms own or have stakes in most of Congo's largest industrial mines. More importantly, China controls about 80% of global cobalt refining capacity. This gives Beijing a dominant hand in the EV revolution. The world doesn't just need the ore, it needs the processing. And right now, that road leads to China. Cobalt mining is an environmental heavy lifter. The extraction process releases sulfur oxide and other toxic vapors. In the DRC, runoff from mines has contaminated local water sources with heavy metals. As we transition away from fossil fuels, we must ensure we aren't trading one catastrophe for another. True sustainability requires a clean supply chain from the ground up. The risks have led to a high-stakes engineering race, the quest for cobalt-free batteries. Tesla and BYD are increasingly using lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, which uses no cobalt. While LFP batteries have lower energy density, they are cheaper and ethically cleaner. The goal is simple: decouple the electric future from the world's most controversial metal. But for high-performance vehicles, cobalt remains king for now. If we can't mine it ethically, can we recycle it? Currently, less than 5% of lithium-ion batteries are recycled globally. But by 2040, recycled cobalt could meet 10 to 15% of total demand. Companies like Redwood Materials are building urban mines to recover cobalt from old phones. The future of mining might not be in the earth, but in our junk drawers. The next frontier for cobalt isn't on land. It's 4 kilometers under the sea. Deep-sea nodules contain more cobalt than all land-based reserves combined. But mining them could devastate fragile marine ecosystems we barely understand.
Is the price of a clean car the destruction of the deep ocean?
A global debate is raging over whether to dive or wait. As the world looks for alternatives to the DRC, Indonesia is stepping up. Huge investments in nickel-cobalt processing are turning this nation into a powerhouse.
However, Indonesian mining faces its own environmental hurdles.
The race for supply is shifting, but the challenges remain just as complex.
Diversification is the new buzzword in global supply chains.
How do you know where your phone's cobalt comes from? Enter blockchain.
Companies are now using digital ledgers to track every bag of ore from mine to refinery. This digital passport aims to ensure that no child labor or conflict minerals enter the mainstream.
Transparency is becoming the most valuable currency in the battery market.
But technology alone can't fix systemic poverty. Cobalt is often called the most volatile commodity in the battery world. In just a few years, prices have tripled and then crashed. This uncertainty makes long-term planning a nightmare for EV makers. When prices spike, the pressure to find alternatives increases. It's a cycle that makes a stable energy transition difficult. Governments aren't leaving cobalt to the free market. Nations are building strategic stockpiles and offering massive subsidies for domestic refining. In the US, the Defense Logistics Agency manages a national cache. Cobalt is no longer just a commodity, it's a strategic asset. Whoever controls the supply controls the technology of tomorrow. If cobalt is so problematic, why do we use it? The answer is chemistry. Cobalt allows batteries to pack more energy into a smaller, lighter space. It also prevents the cathode from degrading, meaning your phone lasts for years. For now, there is no perfect substitute that offers the same performance and safety. Until the next breakthrough, the cobalt dilemma remains unsolved. Under pressure from consumers and investors, giants like Apple and BMW are taking action. They've joined the Responsible Minerals Initiative, pledging to audit their supply chains. Some are even investing directly in Congolese mining communities to improve safety. But critics ask, is it genuine change or just sophisticated PR? The proof will be in the pits of the Congo. The DRC is king, but other players are waking up. Australia and Canada are ramping up cobalt production as a byproduct of nickel mines. Meanwhile, the US is exploring new projects in Idaho. These Western sources offer high ethical standards, but come with higher costs. Can they ever truly rival the Congo? The numbers say, not yet. It's easy to say we should ban artisanal mining, but it supports 200,000 miners.
For many, it's the only way to survive.
Organizations like the Fair Cobalt Alliance are working to formalize these mines. The goal is to make ASM safe, regulated, and profitable for the local people.
Banning it only drives it further underground.
Will cobalt even matter in 10 years? Sodium-ion batteries are on the horizon. These technologies use cheaper, more abundant materials like salt and ceramic. If they reach mass production, the cobalt crisis might solve itself.
The history of technology is a graveyard of critical materials.
But until then, we must manage the world we have. The transition to net zero creates a massive paradox. To save the climate, we need millions of tons of minerals. According to the IEA, cobalt demand could grow 20-fold by 2040. We are rushing toward a green future using methods that are often gray.
Navigating this tension is the defining challenge of our generation.
The story of Cobalt is the story of our era, a collision of high-tech dreams and raw human reality.
We cannot ignore the miners of the DRC, nor can we stop the march of technology.
The solution lies in transparency, recycling, and a commitment to people over profits.
The electric future must be a fair future for everyone. The electric future must be a fair future for everyone. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more deep dives.